All right, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. Today's video has got to be pretty short and to the point, so we're jumping right into it. We're still sitting underneath our key level of 19.7. This is going to be your end-all, be-all level. When we get above this level, in my opinion, you're pushing back into all-time highs. You held your key level down here around 19K, where you started to remount, and we bounced off the 200. Now, you've seen over basically the past 2 days, since we've touched that 200, it's been nothing but bulls taking control. But there's a few major concerns on the broad market when I'm looking at this right now. Now, inflation data continues to point us in the overall right direction. That's the first thing I do want to say. You do look good as far as inflation is concerned and what the Fed is going to be looking at with that data specifically. Speaking of trading, if you've been using a basic investing app for the past few years, I highly recommend that you step it up and graduate to a better investing platform that can grow with you, which in my opinion is today's sponsor, Moomoo. Like other platforms, Moomoo has a super intuitive user interface, really easy to use, but unlike the other platforms, they have everything that you're using right at your fingertips. Whether it be your analysis tools, up to the minute live data on the markets, what's happening with options data. And it's worth mentioning, while other platforms charge a premium for the quality of data that you're getting here at Moomoo, Moomoo does not charge a dime when it comes to getting live data on the charts. So for any of you that are serious about your investment journey, Moomoo's platform is worth checking out. The link is down below. It helps me out, it helps you out. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let's get back to the video. That's the real concern here, and that's the VIX. Now, the VIX has basically sat still at around $17 for the remainder of today and a little bit of the better part of yesterday. So you sat pretty elevated still in VIX around $19, pushing to 21, but you're still pretty elevated. When the VIX is high, this is just a warning side of volatility that kind of can ensue. And we did see that specifically on the Nasdaq today. So for instance, when we look at the Nasdaq, you saw multiple of these little 100-point drops. So we saw in the initial part of the day, 8:30, basically until 10, you kind of slowly grind it up, and then you boom, you dropped, right? Over 100, about 140 points. Then you grind it back up, and then you dropped again within 10 minutes. This is a 5-minute candle. So 10 minutes, you drop another 100 points, and you bounce back up. That's a better part of what the VIX can give you an example of, is that this is where you're not kind of safe. Now, where I think safety comes in is when you get back above our major level, right? The 19.7 level up here, which I think it's a matter of time until we test that. I could see that happening as early as tomorrow, maybe even early next week. So that's really what we want to see. But what I will say here that's good is you look at the hourly chart here, right? You're clearly holding above that level, 19,417 roughly, okay? So those are the big parts there. Now we go into ES, the S&P 500. I think this is a very clean chart, as you can see, clearly breaking through, mounting, pushing through, mounting, trying to push through. Now SPY as well is maybe a better visual here, because I told you yesterday, you mount 555 and I think it's game over. You push back into the highs of those range around 560 and then ultimately 564. And that's where you're at right now. So we pushed up, we kind of mounted there for the better part of the day, eventually pushed up around 560, slowing down a little bit, but ultimately looking at buyers holding us in here, trying to push us back into those highs as well. Even Dow is getting in on this as well, really moving up, holding our levels. Again, this is overall what you want to see. Now, also, too, guys, if you are unfamiliar, our Twitter link is down below. So I try to keep you guys posted with charts all throughout the day and night. Today was a little bit just dry just because the action was so weird. And with this VIX action, I've just been a little bit on the sidelines specifically for today. But as you get closer to that level of 19.7, I'm more and more bullish. And honestly, into the end of the day here, I'm looking pretty bullish. So that's the biggest thing there. Now, the other big indicators, we look at the dollar, specifically the DXY. You guys know my opinion. As rates come in, this is going to drop and get more and more bearish there as well. Your US 30-year yield, again, another major bearish sign for me is you're below 4% here. And you can see you're actually retesting and rejecting that on the daily time frame. Pretty bearish for the yields, which is inherently pretty much a big sign of risk on overall. Again, you go, and I'm going to keep showing you guys this because this is really important. And I'm going to go into this here in a second. Mortgage rates continue to drop 6.11. You had your first little uptick to 6.15 on the day. Now, something that I posted on Twitter earlier, right? And a little vulgar, but it is what it is. So Nancy Pelosi has invested in a private company that buys commercial real estate offices in San Francisco. This is the story that I've been saying. Real estate is very bullish for the overall economy. And if you start seeing buyers step back into real estate, in my opinion, it's a very big sign for the overall market and a risk on environment. So again, other things I'm looking at. Now, do I think the bloodbath might be over? For the better part, yes. I think you put in a higher low. I think you look good. Now, the other side of that that's very important that we talk about. VIX still being elevated is a major concern. So I don't think if you're going with a company you believe in, you really like, you need to have some time. If you're just day trading, you want to get in, you want to get out, then go short dated, but you have to take profits when you start to move, right? That's been very clear. Now, going into names that I'm liking, let's go really quickly. Like NVIDIA, I've been saying the entire time, leaps, leaps, leaps. 2026 is the way to go, so you don't have to worry about anything. I saw some people even in Discord that traded NVIDIA in the past 2 days and lost money because they got kind of spooked out. When I look at this chart on the 1 hour, you have to really ask yourself, how could I have possibly gotten spooked out on this chart? You're literally only going up right now. You haven't gone down for more than 2 hours since, Tuesday, right? So really, like, look at that. Things you have to be considering, and if you're in short dated contracts, why you'd be like concerned. I could look at basically all semis and you're seeing the same thing. But again, overall, semiconductors, I'm very bullish on them. You're getting back over key levels. I'm looking for SMH semiconductor ETF to push back into 239. Another big name I've been mentioning is Costco. You're getting that push like we talked about. I posted this on Twitter as well, so you guys were aware. Again, I just have to go back because, we would like to keep the receipts here for everyone. But Costco is one of the most bullish names I said here. Above 896, this is going to erupt into 1,000. Again, you're not at 1,000 yet, but you're up almost $20 from where I mentioned it. Back at basically all-time highs, 915 here on the day, 916, give or take. So that's how you're moving right now. Very bullish. Costco looks incredible. Would be watching that. And as Dow gets more and more strength, I lean more and more bullish towards Costco specifically, okay? Now, other big names I'm watching, Microsoft. And you're going to see me mentioning more big overall swings. These are the big money plays. Microsoft, if you're in Discord, expect to hear a lot about Microsoft from me and Jordan. Above 431, it's a massive opportunity. I think this thing's running back into 460, possibly even higher, maybe possibly even all-time highs. Like, to be totally honest, their numbers are great. I like what they're doing with OpenAI. I like the partnership with Apple. I think they're moving in the right direction. If there was a runner-up to Apple being the best B2C, or B2B, I would say it's probably Microsoft, right? They're doing very well also in the AI space. Them and Apple seem to have like the foothold and dominance there. Google seems like the loser in that category, okay? Meta is another name that I'm watching. Again, we said above 415. It's a clear-cut, easy long. Been saying that. You get back above 415 here on the day. And again, guess what happens? Boom, you pop back up. Again, been talking a lot about this. And if you watch the market rundown in Discord today, then you saw this as well. Pushing back into highs, very bullish behavior. Again, above 424, I'm very bullish back into the mid 430s, possibly even all-time high. 424, 425 has been that line in the sand on the stock specifically. So make sure you're watching that one as well. Another big name that I'm watching too is CrowdStrike. This is one of my cheaper plays out there that I think is, relatively speaking, cheaper. That is really held down. I think they need to get above the 200 SMA to really get bullish. But again, I think you're buying them at a discount. I think they're incredibly cheap. You need to be watching them into 300, possibly even higher. Everyone's going to ask about Tesla. Again, above, I've said the same trade a million times. I've said it on Twitter. Above 226, it's a long into 231, then the 200 SMA. Below 215, it's a short, then 210, and then 200 SMA on the downside. So what I'm watching for here, above 234, it's a very, very, very bullish name. At that point, I'll get more aggressive with it as well for more swings in the robo-taxi event. But until then, I'm not going to get crazy as always, okay? I can only put so much emphasis on this, guys. If you want to tap in, Twitter is like just where it's free, where I'm talking about anything and everything regarding stocks, and maybe you'll get some more random information about myself as well. But overall, you need to understand that. Also, too, the Moo link is down below, so make sure you tap in if you are interested. But overall, that's what I'm looking at today, guys. Again, I had to make a quick, short video on the day. Also, too, if you are still interested, I think we still have a few more spots that we opened up just to let you know for that flash sale. I'm happy that a lot of you guys were able to tap in. So there's a few spots you left it open. We never do sales, so take advantage while you can. Yeah, so it's right here. I'll actually end up probably pinning this or retweeting it right now. So it's right there for you guys. You can use the code, and remember the code is Tyler25. Okay, so if you want to get that 25% off, can you go here? And again, I recommend reading about this if you are interested. Don't just jump the gun. Like, read to see if it's something that you're actually interested in. It might show sold out. If it does, just reach out to me, send me a message. But either way, you should still be able to jump in. Just go to join, Tyler25, apply. 25% on goes right off. So anyways, have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. hopefully made money trading. I do think we're on the verge of getting that big breakout. So again, and we're kind of already getting it right now. See you tomorrow.